Hey there viewers, and welcome back to Ratchet and Clank Going Commando and the bonus video that has been over a year in the making. Now, the reason for the long wait was because I wanted to finish up your arsenal before cleaning up this game. So let us begin by obtaining those 3 platinum bolts that I skipped during the last bonus video. Now, just for the record, this portion of the bonus video is not going to have live commentary, which is actually very rare for me, since I try to always do my commentary while playing. Now, the main reason for this is because after about 15 minutes of trying to get this blasted bolt, I just said, screw it. Recording myself getting the platinum bolt is what is really important. I can just do the commentary and the editing, and that is exactly what I'm doing now. Now, if you recall during my last bonus video, when I was collecting all the bolts that I missed during my playthrough, I came to this section and I said that as long as I showed you guys where and how to get this bolt, which is by going through every single ring without missing one, that it would be enough. Well, now that I'm doing the cleanup for this video, or this game, I decided that I might as well give it another shot. And this first race took me about 30 bloody minutes to complete. And in fact, I was very lucky to complete it in this run, because as you can see, there are many instances where I come very close to running into walls or just missing rings altogether. And there are a couple of great examples right there. I mean, the asteroids are so small that if you overshoot one of the rings and try to compensate yourself, well, you'll likely crash. And in terms of control, these ships are really not the best when it comes to handling. But anyways, that is the first ring challenge bolt done. And on to the second one, which was actually a bit easier than the first. I even started off with a boost for the first few rings because this course has so many straightaways. There's a lot less tight spaces in this one, like the asteroids from the first race. I mean, all in all, this place is just an open area, which is odd considering the fact that it is inside a building-like structure, whereas the first one was in space. There were a couple of tight turns, though, that I missed, which is why it took me 15 minutes to complete this one. But you know what is really annoying about these ring challenges is that they don't feel like something that would reward you with a bolt. Bolts are supposed to be something that you find on the map or the field by adventuring or exploring, not a reward you get for doing some obscure challenge. A skill point, definitely, but not a platinum bolt. I mean, they could have placed them anywhere on a side path or something like that, and it would have made more sense, but to require you to go through every single ring just doesn't really seem like something they should reward a bolt with. But anyways, this spot right here is one I actually died at quite a bit, mostly because of the flashing light, which is very annoying because, as you can see, it is at the very end of the race. But with that, we only have one more ring challenge to go. Now, you can credit it to the fact that I just spent 45 minutes with the airship, maneuvering around and getting really good at it, or you can credit it to the fact that there were a lot of straightaways in this map right here with very few tight turns. But this race right here only took me just two attempts to beat to get the platinum bolt, which is really surprising because this was the last ring challenge, so you would think that it would end up being the toughest. But no, they actually ended up getting easier and easier. Now, I would like to say it was because I was getting better, but to be completely honest, I just think it was because of the course itself. It was so much more simple. There weren't really any points where I felt I needed to overcompensate myself after I overshot a mark. In fact, I don't even think I overshot any marks. Which is the complete opposite of the very first race. In fact, I even think this one was shorter than the first two. Now, why they decided to do it this way, with the third one being the easiest, I don't know. Maybe it's a sign of an apology for making you do the first two. That's my best guess. Either that, or they just simply run out of ideas on how to challenge you in the ring race, and they didn't feel like going into Superman 64 levels. I also think that they were a little bit more forgiving with the hitboxes on those rings in the second and third race. But whatever the case, that is the 40th and final Platinum Bolt of the game. Which means I am back to having live commentary, yay! Now after I got those last few Platinum Bolts, I decided to come down here to the planet Tabora and buy and spin all of my Platinum Bolts. Well, it turns out that I have one Platinum Bolt remaining. Now the main reason for that, I'm assuming, is because during my main playthrough of the game, if you remember, there were two weapons that I did not buy. The Rhino and the Zodiac, mostly because I did not have the money to buy them. Well, now through challenge mode, I have more than enough, so let us purchase these two weapons. And since we are in challenge mode, there is a third weapon we can buy now, the Clank Zapper. I actually got a skill point for that. But now that I got these two weapons, I'm assuming I can spin this. Congratulations, you've unlocked a new item. I completely missed what he said, I'm sorry. But now that I have all these weapons, I should be able to buy the last weapon mod with my final Platinum Bolt. Now let's see which weapon mod it is on which weapon. It is the lock-on for the Rhino 2. Nice. That might actually come in handy. Because if I remember from the first game, the Rhino is a bit, well, it kind of sends out those rockets in every direction. But aside from the Mega and Ultra weapons, there is another aspect to challenge mode that you might have just noticed. And that is the Bolt Multiplier. As you notice in the top right hand corner, there is a ×5, which means every time you kill an enemy, you get 5 times the amount of bolts. Now the best way I have found to increase the Bolt Multiplier is to come here to Damisol and just spam the hell out of these mini nukes on the Furbies around here. Since they are infinitely respawning, you never have to worry about numbers running out. Now, if you end up getting hit by one of these enemies, your Bolt Multiplier reverts all the way back to 1. Now, the popular belief is that kill one enemy, it goes to ×2. Kill 2 enemies, it goes to ×3, etc., all the way up to plus 19 more enemies for ×20 for the Bolt Multiplier. Which would mean 190 enemies must be killed without taking a single hit to get all the way up to ×20. And just keep kiting these guys around until they keep spawning more enemies for you to blow up. Until you get all the way to ×20. Now, if you get hit, like I said, it goes back to ×1. However, if you want to abuse the system, for example, after you maybe accidentally kill all the Furbies around here, let's kill them all off real quick. Which is actually fairly difficult to do, seeing as how they respawn so quickly. And one more over there. Okay, let's say you accidentally kill all these enemies. Well, if you get hit, it reverts back to 1. However, if you suicide off a cliff, that Bolt Multiplier will remain at whatever it was when you died. So that is an easy way to abuse the system. And a great way to earn money.